So I get this a lot. I'm young. Why do I have to worry about breast cancer? And I'm also being asked this question all of the time. Why are younger people getting breast cancer more? This is such a good and honestly scary feeling question. And the most truthful, simple answer is we just don't fully know yet. But doctors and researchers do have some strong leading explanations. Here are the main reasons young women may be getting breast cancer more often. 1, there is a diagnostic bias. More cancers are being found earlier. Young women today are more likely to notice changes in their breasts, more likely to go to the doctor quickly, more likely to get ultrasounds and MRIs, which have a higher detection rate of early cancers, more likely to undergo biopsy. All this taken together means that the diagnosis is found earlier. So some of the increase is better detection. That's actually a good thing. So finding more cancers in patients because people are more cognizant and they're more aware of undergoing screening tests is actually a really good thing. 2, lifestyle changes that affect hormones starting earlier in life. Breast cancer risk is strongly connected to hormones, especially estrogen levels. Things that increase lifetime hormone estrogen exposure include starting periods earlier. This has become more common. Higher body fat. Fat tissue makes estrogen. We live in a society where obesity is common, and believe it or not, even a weight in an average woman of about 140, 150 is considered mildly obese. So make sure you do everything in your power to lower that fat count. Less physical activity. That again is connected to fat storage and the amount of estrogen that's in fat, but also the physical activity alone, lack of it seems to also trigger breast cancer event. Alcohol use. This also increases estrogen. So we recommend that the average person have no more than 1 glass of wine per night. More stress and sleep deprivation. That's still being studied, but it's likely relevant. 3rd, having children later or fewer children. Pregnancy and breastfeeding change breast tissue in ways that can lower risk over the long term. That only really happens when pregnancy occurs at a younger age, like in the 20s. As soon as a woman is 30 and higher, pregnancy actually has a paradoxical switch and can increase the risk of breast cancer. Now many women have their first child later, have fewer children, breastfeed less, or for shorter periods. That doesn't cause cancer. It just removes some protective effects. 4, we touched upon this, but obesity and metabolic health. Rates of overweight and obesity have increased massively, including in younger people. This matters because it affects estrogen levels, insulin levels, and inflammation in the body. All of those can raise cancer risk. 5, and what I get asked about mostly, environmental exposure, which can be a possible contributor. This is the hardest one to prove. Nobody can really test pollution levels from one place to the next, or what's somebody eating, plastic levels, et cetera, et cetera. These are very hard to quantify and assess and then connect to risk factors in people, but it is being actively studied nonetheless. Some research suspects long-term exposure to things like endocrine disrupting chemicals that mimic hormones, and certain pollutants may play a role, especially because exposure can start in childhood. But it's not as simple as X product causes breast cancer. 6, genetics explains some, but not most. Young breast cancer is more likely to involve inherited risk genes like the BRCA, but most young women diagnosed still don't have a known inherited mutation, so the breast cancer is still wild type. We're seeing breast cancer in younger women, probably due to a mix of better detection and modern hormone and lifestyle patterns. But the full reason isn't completely understood yet. And I need you to understand that, because when people keep pressing to find an answer, they're not going to be satisfied. We're working on it. We have some understanding, and I've just given you some reasons, but unfortunately, the entire picture has not been captured and may never be captured.